Hey, hey, hey. You'll have to let me know if you can hear and see me. Yes, you will. Have to let me know that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to an impromptu awesome show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to an impromptu awesome show. Hello, hello, hello. Let's get this show on the road, shall we? You know what I'm talking about? If you don't know what I'm talking about, today's show is not about bringing the troops home. It's my first ever show that I am not dedicating to bringing the troops home. Today's show is dedicated to Grandmaster Fabian Libiszewski and the movie The Tournament, which you can check out if you click on the link that we actually shared in the chat just a moment ago. I'm going to go ahead and share it again right now for both Chess TV chat viewers and Twitch viewers. The trailer actually looks kind of exciting. It's a little bit extreme as far as what chess movies and tournaments are about, but isn't every movie about chess a little bit extreme, right? That's not what defines how great it is. It looks exciting. It's about a young grandmaster who's playing as the French champion against another young player, and Grandmaster Fabian Libiszewski is actually in the movie. That's him right there in the middle, showing the card with the big belly there, hanging out with a couple of guys that might be half his age. And he makes a cameo in the movie. I think he actually has a role in the movie. You can check out the news report that we had on it to figure out all the details. And it's about chess. And they reached out to us and said, "Hey, Grandmaster Fablibi is his username on our site, wants to do a marathon for all of your members in honor of the movie to get the word out." And we said, well, why not? We love craziness. We love chess. When you merge the two, you get one of my shows, Craziness and Chess, right? But today, what we're going to try to do is follow some of his action. He is going to be playing Blitz and Bullet on our site for 24 hours straight. He's already been playing for, I think, about 10 hours. And so he's already been going at it for a while. I think his rating has actually dipped a little bit. The name of the movie is La Tournament. It means the tournament. So the name of the movie is The Tournament as far as English goes. Am I going to be doing commentary for 24 hours? Well, considering I just started this show about 10 to 12 hours into his event, obviously the answer to that is no. I'm also not that crazy. I'm going to be doing commentary for about an hour. And we're going to analyze his games. We're probably going to try to jump in if he's willing to play us. I think that's what most people would want to see, is an exciting Danny versus Fablibi Blitz battle with commentary. So he'll have the disadvantage that he's been playing for several hours longer than me, and I'll have the disadvantage that I'm bringing commentary to the table. But right now, he's already faced off against another Grandmaster, and I haven't provided any commentary yet on the chess. It looks like he's probably going to lose this game. With Black having a little bit of a party over here at the G2 pawn's expense. So it's pretty likely that that he's going to lose this one. But again, he's a strong grandmaster. He's doing this for fun and for the promotional, just to promote the movie, and the producers and people behind this film have really done a great job of getting the word out to the chess community. And like I said, they reached out to us, pitched this idea that we host an event like a 24-hour Blitz marathon on our site. We said, why not? And that's what we're all about. We promise some live commentary in the process, and of course some promotion of their tournament. So I assume everyone can hear and see me loud and clear, and that everybody's excited to be here. I can only assume those things to be true. Ignore my haircut or lack thereof. I know it makes me look fat. I get it. But he's taken on everybody, and this is awesome. Exciting. If you're joining us via Twitch, again, of course, you can go to Chess.com/live and follow his games in case you want to back up and check out one of his games. But let's go ahead and just start providing commentary now. And we may be able to create a situation where we can jump in, as I said, where we can jump into to his match. And so here he's playing a Catalan. One of the main ideas for white is to sacrifice the c-pawn in exchange for some long-term compensation on the diagonal. What white loses in the process is time, either with the queen or in some variations the knight, to go and gather that pawn. But it's a favorite of players like Alexander Halifman, Vladimir Kramnik, of course, the most infamous Catalan player of all time. And right here, what you see is 100% theory. And with that is White's idea is going to be to do what Mr. Fabian just did. You want to create pressure on the C file so that Black is strapped with this long-term positional weakness. This is a backward pawn, which is a pawn that is going to be under White's, let's see, telescope, or just it's going to be under White's gaze here for a long time. But Black has some other things going for him. Black obviously has the knights in the center, and at certain points, Black would like to put the rook on d8 and the bishop on f6, and perhaps return the favor as far as putting pressure on the pawn, and that's what National Master One Random Guy, I feel like that's what I want to say, is this guy's name. Sorry. Getting a little bit distracted by staff momentarily, some other issues. That's why I was late today. Sorry, I was putting out some fires over on Chess.com, which is our scholastic site. Encourage you to check it out if you have your own kids who you want to get involved in chess. Yeah, and so the other thing that Black has going as far as compensation goes is this idea of a5, which is what NM Random 1 is now playing for. The point of opening this diagonal is that Black hopes to have a pawn weakness to sort of compensate for his own. And also eliminating the b4 pawn creates the opportunity for something else, which is to strike with c5, having the pawn is supported by the queen and bishop, which would eliminate this weakness. So these are some of the bigger picture things that are going on in this structure. If I had to choose right now, I'd still like White. I like the way Fabian has played this. I would love to put a piece on c6, but that's exactly what NM Random 1 saw, so he just tried to sack a pawn in order to make up for it, but probably not going to be enough to make up for it. I think that if the king moves, even if Black picks up this pawn, it seems to me like White is going to have a lasting edge here. Maybe I would put the rook on b1. I sort of question Fabian's decision to play f3. I don't really like exposing the second rank to the king. If I was playing this position, I would have backed up the king and not worried too much about it. Although the endgame, okay, that's definitely going to be a mistake for Black, because the endgame can only favor White. Whether I get rooks immediately to the c-file or not, positionally, this structure has pawns all on one side of the board, which always gives the knight sort of a maneuvering advantage over the bishop. The bishop thrives in positions where he's attacking things on both sides of the board. That's not really what White's going to have here, and so I really like Fabian's chances to win this game now. I wonder if Black just missed an opportunity to play c5 and rid himself of his positional weaknesses. Possibly he did. But it's Blitz, and these players are doing their best. Oh, that's a mistake. Fabian making some blunders right now. You know, he's been playing for a while. Maybe this is a little bit harder than he thought it would be. Why exactly his opponent didn't just go capture this pawn, I have no idea. But that looked a lot better than what he did. The way it's working out, I still like Fabian's position now, given that Black just missed a chance to win that pawn. And if Black can coordinate some pressure on c7, maybe he just brings the king up and tries to continue to push a space advantage. That's what Fabian decides to do as well. Hasn't been the best endgame play. Again, we're talking about a grandmaster here who, if you're just joining us, has been playing Blitz for already more than 12 hours. You are in the middle of a Blitz marathon. And he's going to be doing this for another 12 hours. I'm joining him at about the halfway point to provide some commentary and fun. This is all in honor of La Tournament, or I don't know exactly how to say it, but Grandmaster Fabian Libiszewski is playing a 24-hour Blitz marathon for awareness of this awesome movie coming out. Somebody can share the link for those who just joined us if they ask for it, and you can check out our news report on this movie that's going to be released at some point later this year. So, NM Random 1 is holding on the best he can. I don't like the way Fabian is playing this position. It seems to me that after takes, bishop a5 is going to be winning a piece because the knight is skewered to the rook. Fabian, you know, he's got an attitude of risking it to get the biscuit, and I love that about him. All right, I love it about him, but it's coming with some blunders right now. I don't really need to be wearing these headphones, so I'm not sure why I'm doing that. I'm going to take those off. Good talk, Danny. Good talk with yourself. Way to talk to yourself while everyone watches. Well, Fabian found a way to lose this one, if he does indeed lose it. It was a It was definitely an easy win. He still has a little bit of a time advantage, but I would imagine that black should be able to win this when you consider the advantage of pre-moves in online chess, and I would doubt black to lose this game here. We'll see if black can come up with enough pre-moves here to make it tricky for white. Often the best thing to do in these situations is, instead of playing the obvious checks and such, is to try to make moves like this. Just a little pro tip. Instead of giving the check, because what do you think black did? Black pre-moved bishop f4. You know why? Because he was expecting the check. But if you play rook h3, he either undoes the pre-move, wasting time, or he pre-moves it and you win the rook. So, word of advice for everybody who... oh, that was a rook. Word of advice for anybody wondering how strong players are always able to kind of outplay them when both sides are under time pressure in blitz and bullet like this. A big way that they're able to do that is by making more accurate or trickier moves that take advantage of a pre-move scenario. So don't play obvious. It's like the same rule to beating your opponent when they're under time pressure is, if you play the obvious forcing move, usually the quickest thing for the brain to calculate are the forceful responses. So if you make a move that makes the position awkward, takes a little more time to figure it out, right? And so you can prevent your opponent from running away with the pre-move. Anyway, I don't know exactly what hour it is. Some people are saying that I'm actually wrong about how many hours have been spent here, but I know we're at least into 8 hours plus, probably even more than that, double digits. So I'm going to see if Mr. Fabian wants to jump into a game with me. It looks like he does. He's even issued a direct challenge with me. So let's give at least a little bit of a best of 3 for everybody. Grandmaster Fabian, who I am honored to play you, sir, and this event that you're doing is just super sweet. I'll play e5. I've been working on my opening repertoire to avoid Sicilians against stronger players. Considering that he is a grandmaster, I would classify him as a strong player, and I'm going to try to play a Berlin, which he says no thank you to. That's okay with me. I'm just going to play solid positional chess here. Getting castled, getting developed, right? Just like my mama told me. I'm shaking what my mama gave me right now. I'm going to kick that bishop and be happy about it. Then I'm going to bring that bishop out and pin the knight. Then I'm going to talk about everything I'm doing, so that you know every single thought that's going through my head, right? I know you all appreciate that. I'd like to play d5 and probably call his bluff. If he wants to play g4 after the trade and go win that pawn, I'd be okay with that. The way he's played it, I really like my chances here. Black having established d5 in these types of structures just pretty much guarantees equality, at least. I wonder if he plays bishop g5. I would have been a little irritated if he had played bishop g5 because the knight would have been pinned and I would have had to deal with the pressure there, but he didn't. I like this idea. I'm undermining the queen side, but the main point that if he takes it, b4 becomes weak. I wonder if he takes, if I can take back with the pawn and go for that, or if I should have just traded with the knight. We'll never know because he didn't do that. But I'm going to play some natural moves, increasing my pressure on the b-pawn as well as maybe a threat to bring the rook to d8. I like that. But do I like winning the pawn more? Right? Me likey. Mikey thinks he likes it. Mikey does like it. Mikey's going to go grab that pawn. Now I'm going to bring the other rook over to d8. Shake and bake. If I can, I'd like to play even c5 and then a5. a5, a4. Start to use my queenside majority. Try to flex those muscles a little bit. When you get a pawn majority, don't be afraid. Flex those muscles. Push those pawns. Do it, love it, own it, live it, learn it, love it, life. I just oh my God, I'm like a philosophizer here. I just invented my own saying to life. Do it, love it, live it, move it, play it, chess. Love, life. No, I'm kidding. All right, focus, Danny. If I take d3 and he plays knight f5, I can chop, and knight takes c1 because I actually gain a tempo on the queen. But if I take d3 and he plays rook c2, can I play knight takes f2? Go into sack down. I will get some discoveries, but probably not enough. If knight takes d3, rook c2, bishop takes f2, queen takes f2, knight takes, rook takes, king takes. He has 2 pieces for the rook. Not my cup of tea, yeah? What's he threatening to do? Nothing, really. But do I want to play c5 or a5? c5 blocks the bishop, and you know how much I'd love to just go grab this pawn. I would love it. You know what? Do I have something even fancier than I'm first realizing? I think I do. I have something fancy schmancy. I have a threat of knight f4. And if he takes, I take with check and then win that so I can actually unpin this. I believe I can actually unpin it. Oh, wait, I can also play queen to c5. And if takes, I get queen takes f2 check in the end. After king h2, that also looks nasty. Everything I'm about to do looks nasty. I'm winning here. I'm up 2 clear pawns and completely winning, but I only have 44 seconds, and this is a 3-0 game. Oh, and don't you think for a second that he doesn't know it. He knows it. He knows what he's playing for here. He's playing for time on the tickety right now. I'm going to have to take back if he wants to go grab that bishop. I'm just going to have to take on back. Take on back. It's a complicated position. Whoa, town. Population us, bro. Whoa, town. Population us, bro. Bro town. Population us, bro. I'm kind of blowing it right now. Yeah, that's only slightly irritating. He's played well. I mean, he's really defended that position that was worse for him. He has really defended that position that was worse for him, and now he's created a scenario where I don't quite have as much time as I would like. Uh-oh, that was a blunder by me. That was a big fat blunder. Uh-oh, can he do that? I'm going to take with check. I'm doing good here, actually, considering that I was about to lose the game just a moment ago. Play there. The problem is, even if I am doing good, I'm down on time. So, I think he's going to get this one. Can he do that? I don't even know what he can do anymore. I feel like I don't even know what's going on here anymore. He's tricking me, which is exactly what I would have done if I was him. Okay, well, good game. Good game, Fabian. I don't know quite what. I'd love to back up and take a look at where I blew that winning position there. But I think the place I blew it really was tactically based on time, honestly. Or let's say as far as the bigger picture. From a strategy approach of the game, I spent way too much time on moves earlier that I saw quickly and instinctively I knew were good, but I didn't play them. And that's where good positions go wrong. You know, that's how you lose winning positions, is taking unnecessary amounts of time on moves that you know should be played. So that's also a pro tip. Hashtag pro tip. Okay, he's going to play there. I'll go ahead and castle long. Exciting stuff. Not even sure I'm really worried about that. I'd love to just take and sack the exchange, but I don't even really have to sack the exchange because I can just play h3. And this is another not-so-good position for him, but this time I'm going to try to actually win the game to prove it to the people who are rooting for me and aren't rooting for him, that I'm not that bad of a chess player. I get so emotional when I'm playing this way on live TV. No, I'm kidding. I don't get that emotional. If I got emotional over games that I lost, I'd be in an insane asylum right now. I told you I lose chess games for a living. It's my favorite thing to do. I don't really care about that pawn. If you'd like to go take it and just do it, right? b3, a5, king b2, a4. Takes, move it. It's likely going to work out for him, yeah? Right, we don't care. Bring a knight to c3, go pick up the pawn. Maybe even play d5. Takes. No worries here. You can't sit here. What's that, Forrest Gump? Hashtag pop culture reference that you didn't see coming. A pop culture reference that you did not see coming. Really. Alright, well, he castles long, which is probably what he should do, given the situation. I'd like to bring a rook up, actually. I'd love to do a rook lift here and really get jiggy with it. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. Really? I guess he can sort of play that way, but not really. Yeah. If queen a5, I had rook a3. I felt like maybe he should have had something better there than what he got, but he didn't quite see it. Well, we're trying to play quickly here on time, as previously noted, considering that I lost the last game because of time. That's sort of my main goal in this one here. If I play d5, he takes, and then he plays there. I can take and take, and after he plays b4, if I move the queen, he has queen e3 check. But my idea was actually to come back here, and then when he moves the knight, actually put the queen on e5. And try to go for this sort of winning endgame here, where his king is awkwardly trapped. This is my idea. Okay, and he moves, and now I would like to bring a rook over here into c4 with Chekaruski. Well, he's holding on. Oop, and I'm getting down on time once again. If b5, d6, and he takes it, I guess I have e7, which should work. If I play rook f1, if he gives check, don't I just come up? I don't think he has anything. I think that's game right there. I think my instincts to sack that exchange actually were correct. You know, being the main point that the dark squares, to open up this diagonal here, and the dark squares were just going to be too much for black to be able to defend the position, and I'm sure there were other ways to win as well. But just like that, we are tied 1-1 in this best of three. Are you just joining us? Well, first of all, where have you been, young man or gal? Right? Thank you for joining the best show in the world. That's a chess show. That's this show right here. I'm going to give up on playing solid and go back to my Chichilian. My favorite Chichilian. Never back a Chichilian into the corner. Haven't you ever seen The Godfather? I have, and I learned something from that movie. You know what I learned? Al Pacino's acting career was much more impressive before he just started yelling at everyone. That's what I learned. Yupper doodle, we're playing weird chess. We're playing weird chess, and we're talking about a movie. If you're just joining us, we got the Blitz Marathon. That's what we're getting on. Doing the movie. We're talking about chess. Okay, so, you know, one of those Sicilian endgames where black has the long-term potential of the bishop pair, which is what I like about my position. Grandmaster Fabian Libiszewski has the advantage that he's got a bind on the queen side, including some positional weaknesses here. So let's see here. I don't really want to lose the bishop pair. I'm going to put the knight on c4 and see how he deals with that. Because he has to move the bishop to somewhere awkward, which is going to allow me to maybe put a little bit of pressure on the position. Or so I think, anyway. Playing a little bit faster than my first game, at least that's the idea for those just joining us. Had a pretty good position to start in this best-of-3 match. Maybe we'll play best-of-5. But I played really slowly, and that wasn't great. It was not a great idea. One move I can consider here is rook to c8. If takes and takes, I'm forking his knights. And if knight b6 I take, I'm going to end up winning a pawn in that line. I like that idea. I like it a lot, actually. I wouldn't say I love it, because then I'd have to marry it. Remember when we used to make fun of people for that when you were a kid? Like, oh, if you love it so much, why don't you marry it? Remember when that was a thing in your life? And you're like, no, Danny, I was never that immature. And I'm like, well, I was. So, I like this move, rook c8, though. It gives me confidence I might be able to take this position home, yeah? Plays there, but now, okay, if I take and he takes the pawn, I shake and bake. If I take and he takes with the rook, no, don't know. If I move the knight, he'll just play knight b6, and it was all for naught. It was all a waste of space. If I take, and he takes with the rook, and then I take there, he takes, again, I don't have anything concrete, as much as that position might be okay for me. Ugtown. Population us, bro. Is he actually threatening anything? I don't know. I don't know if he's threatening anything. Because if he takes and I take with the rook, I'm still forking his knights. And I don't think there's an obvious solution to that problem. So I'm going to play this move, king to e7. Why, you ask? Because I'm guarding the d6 pawn against potential tactics. I know that at some point I can't maintain this tension here for forever. Maybe not even for another move because of that move. So I can't maintain the tension forever. So I knew that at some point I would have to take and move the knight. And in doing so, I wanted my d-pawn to be guarded. See that? That's called forethought. That's called thinking ahead. And that's what I was trying to do. Now I'm going to have to deal with this, which is a little bit irritating. Could be worse, though. It could certainly be worse. I need to play faster. That's the main issue I have, once again. That is my main issue in this position, is the time I have been taking. So I'm going to pick it up a little bit here. Play this move. Yep, I'm aware of that. Now I'm going to try to guard this. Okay, that's interesting. I'll play f5. We'll take. We'll back it up. Avoid the tempo. I guess we'll take it. We'll sack it. Why not do it? Gotta play fast. We do have a couple pawns right now. Yeah, we'll take it, I guess. Knowing that he has to kind of go for that. Oh, I guess I thought I had something better there. I thought I was going to get something a little better than what I got, honestly. Now I'm going to back this thing up so I can play e5 and get him to either take back or not. Okay, well now it probably should be a draw if I can just avoid getting mated. Can I avoid getting mated? What the heck? Holy shenanigans. I don't know if I can avoid getting mated. Or I did, but I took way too much time again thinking about it. Darn it. Darn me right now. Oh, maybe I can't avoid getting mated. Well, wow. That was a good little battle between me and Grandmaster Fabian. He really took this game home. What happened there? Oh, he's already started a game against the next challenger. Well, congratulations to Fabian for taking me out here in this best of 3. Don't really feel like I was playing my best chess today. But then again, I've felt that way for the last 27 years of my life. So go figure. I guess I just completely I just, blundered this pawn. This whole bishop e5 idea was sort of bogus. In reality, I should have been playing this knight from d7 to c5. But in order to make that happen, I had to guard this pawn. So I don't know. I could play rook c6, and if he puts the knight there, then just back up and kind of play a little tickle, I guess. And I want to try to get the knight here to sort of block off the bishop. Or find some other way to improve my defenses of the pawn. That would have been ideal. But I didn't. And that's unfortunate. So let's see here. Let me jump to his current game. Actually, let's keep following Fabian in his quest for perfection over 24 hours, and maybe we'll get another match with him going here before we're done. All right, what's going on here? Strange position. Let's see. This knight on e4. I mean, what White would like to do if White could just simplify the position would be to trade this knight for this knight and then focus his efforts trying to take advantage of the c-pawn. The other thing you can kind of do in these structures if you're White is sometimes look for an attack over here because of the advantage you have in space, but given where the queen is here, without any ability to sort of lead the way with a move like bishop h6, I don't think that attack idea is really going to happen here for Black. For White. Okay, but the problem with this last move by Fabian is we're going to try to get the rooks here to the c-file, and I don't know exactly how Black is going to deal with that. If you take with the bishop here, then knight to d2 comes with tempo. If you take with the pawn, the knight moves, and still we have this big positional advantage for White. The c6 pawn is isolated. The a7 pawn is isolated. c5, I would guess that White could even take with the queen and then take here if he wishes. Maybe White wants something different. But yeah, taking with the pawn would have been a bad idea. So taking with the queen makes sense, and now Grandmaster Real Bizou. I have to remember who Mr. Real Bizou is. Let me look it up. From France. I'd have to remember. Off the top of my head, I do not recall. But probably a friend of his, given that he's from France. Two Frenchmen going at it right here. Knight to b3. That's a nice move I didn't even consider after this initial idea because it's threatening to trap the rook. So now one of the things that White can do is... Okay, maybe grabbing the pawn is probably what I would do, be a little greedy first. Okay, actually, he grabs this one even better. But at a certain point here, White's going to be able to come back, and Black has some trouble now with this rook. Queen a6 makes sense. What Fabian would like to do is capture on a2. And that not only helps free the rook, but wins a pawn in the process. But if we're evaluating this position unbiasedly, this should be winning for White at this point. One idea for White to consider is it time to just drive the d-pawn. If you can hold on to the e5 pawn, then you're not really worried about pushing. Although after queen a3, ouchtown, population Black, yeah, that's a blunder. I didn't even see it. So, yeah, now Fabian is probably going to be going down swinging in this game. He's going to lose the exchange. I don't see enough clear compensation. And that move makes it even better. Increasing the pressure to the pinned piece, right? Pinned pieces must be pressured. A lot of P's in that, right? You got to pile up on the pinned piece, right? PP on the PP. P on the PP. I know that's sounding a little weird, but no, it's really not. This algorithm looks like something straight out of Lost, right? 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. Oh, you didn't know that, right? Didn't know I had those numbers memorized. Okay? Play the lottery every week with those numbers. Just joking. I don't play the lottery. Nor would I ever play it every week. That would seem like a little bit of a me problem. But, okay, what do we have here? We have a Tartakower QGD with this B6 development. This is just traditional Tartakower stuff here. And the whole point, of course, is that Black has given up the normal center that he fights for, but in exchange he has this bishop on the diagonal, and he's going to try for c5, which is just typical for the structure. And what Black wants to do to equalize is, like I said, you want to get c5 to equalize in terms of the center, before White has time to play for e4 and e5 or really try to flex the muscles of those centers. So that's exactly what you see Black do here. And my phone's ringing, and I'm hanging it up. Right? It's like, where are they right now that they don't know we're not streaming chess? If you're just joining us, this show here is in honor of a Bullet Blitz marathon currently going on in Chess.com with Grandmaster Fabian Libiszewski. As you can see, he is right now, Grandmaster Fablibi on our site. That's his username. He's about 10 hours deep, I think. Maybe someone can give me an exact clock. Can someone give me an exact clock of how many hours he is deep? I think he's probably closer to 12 hours, actually. And maybe 11 hours right now. And he's going to be playing Blitz for a full 24-hour marathon in honor of the movie. This movie, The Tournament, which is a movie coming out in France. And it follows the story of a young grandmaster, the French champion, who comes up against a surprising rival of another young chess player. Black's going to put that pony on D3 right now. That is delicious. Right? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, there he goes. He loves it. And so we're following Grandmaster Fablibi's game. He and I just played our own battle of best of 3, where I lost, and I'm probably going to try to get a little rematch on here soon. Okay, Grandmaster Nuki in the chat just confirmed that we're 8 hours and 16 minutes in. Wow, not as far as I thought. For some reason, I thought we were further along than that. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to comment, if you want to ask anything about the show or about the tournament or about the movie or even just about life in general. We talk a lot of philosophy on Twitter. You know, it's a real deep place when you're talking about 140 characters or less, right? Real deep stuff goes on Twitter. But you can also follow Film Le Tourney. They actually just tweeted me. I'm going to retweet a tweet from them right now, so you can follow them to stay up to date on news about the movie, and make sure you check it out. We're going to have to get a rematch here. Tell Mr. Fabian that I'm not settled with that best 2 out of 3. That was ugly. I need to pick up my game. No blame. I mean, I'm not blaming you guys. I'm blaming this guy, but I'm not happy with what happened there. All right, well, he's putting on a clinic right now as far as how to play the Tartakower. We love the bishop pair, and we love the fact that it's a bishop pair with an open center. I was just going to say that e5 and e4 makes a whole lot of sense nuggets. I don't know if you know what a sense nugget is, but you can get it for 99 cents at McDonald's. It's a sense nugget. Go get it. That makes a whole lot of sense nuggets, although after bishop takes f6, knight f5, I get a little bit worried about his king. Knight takes h6, king g7, knight g4 is going to be met by rook to d2, though. And that may not make white so happy. I don't think white saw rook to d2 coming. Now queen f1 is forced because bishop takes g4 would be Cecalina La Schlamba on g2. That's Ouchtown. So here he's going to look for, if you're black, you have a few options. I was going to say, one is to improve the queen position. I just wasn't sure how, so he moved before I could suggest how. I was going to suggest maybe try to get to the b6 square, putting e3 and b2. White is real stuck here, though. I mean, moving the rook off the back rank is not an option. Moving this knight is probably going to just allow black to push forward. I mean, now of course, you can take b2 if you're black, and that's exactly what Fabian does. One thing you got to give him credit for, being 8.5 hours deep at this point, is that he's still playing relatively quickly. It's one of the reasons he beat me, is he's able to play very fast in these positions, and again, we see he's got about a 40-second time advantage. And that's huge. In a game of 3-0 or bullet chess, that kind of time advantage is devastating, really. And it's another reason why he's going to go and win this game here. If you're looking to challenge him, again, I'm not going to be doing commentary for the full 24 hours, so I'm not going to be playing him more than what you see over the next hour here. If you want to challenge Fabian, now you have his username. Just log into Chess.com, chess.com/live, and challenge him. He's taking on all comers. Obviously, right now, he's been focused on some of the stronger opponents. But he'll be playing for the next 12 hours, so I would bet that there's a good chance you might get a game against him if you want to log in and play. And again, if anyone wants to share the link to the news report about this whole thing, you can go ahead and do so. And currently, it's just past midnight in Paris, so it's getting late for him. Current weather in Paris is 61 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 16 degrees Celsius, with clear skies and winds coming out of the northeast at about 10 miles per hour. How in the world did I know that? One, I have a secret stat guy who just monitors weather around the world randomly for fun, something we pay for on Chess.com. Don't worry about it. We're really using our funds wisely. Secondly, as you can tell from what's going on here, that there's a swell coming out of the northeast up here, and it's going to swirl down. And then you got everything that's happening over here, which is kind of a dark blob, and that's how I knew the weather, where Fabian is right now. So there you go. I'm actually serious. Go ahead and look up what the weather is, and you'll be like, how in the world did he know that? All right, Fabian, you're really redeeming yourself in this game. I like it. I like the way you're attacking. I like the way you're bringing the heat. Hopefully you'll be able to break through with an attack. Maybe h5, meet knight f5 with then rook f3. He decides to play there first. Maybe he wants to move the queen and play for g4. That's fine, but if you play for g4, he's going to take the h-pawn, dude. Not sure that was the best approach by Fabian here. I would have maybe said that the queen could have also gone to h3 to play g4, but the d4 pawn's hanging, so that wouldn't have worked. Although, I guess as far as the overall picture of the king side goes, white can play h5 first and then support g4, which is probably what Fabian wants to do here. I like it. I like the way he's bringing the attack. The tournament is pronounced La Tournoi, which is, again, the tournament, as far as if we're translating it to English. Why did I know that? Again, I don't know how I know these things, but no, I get help from people who say, Danny, don't make yourself look like even more of an idiot than you already do. At least pronounce it correctly and with a French accent. La Tournoi. You're welcome. You're welcome, world. Okay, knight h4, rook h3 is going to be played. No, play rook h3 and go to Sacktown on h4, man. Although I guess you are threatening f4. White wants to keep the position closed and launch an attack. The idea is that if the center can remain closed and black isn't able to orchestrate any kind of breakthrough, that's going to allow white to really focus on what he wants to focus on, which is the king side. So that's what Fabian's trying to do. Yeah, you can tell he regrets rook d3 because then he comes right back to g3. I don't know that I really am a fan of his last couple decisions. I still feel like there's an opportunity to be aggressive here and maybe go for g4. Although I would probably take that approach and lose the game. So, let's be honest. Again, if you're just joining us, guess what? It's a Bullet Blitz marathon on Chess.com. This guy's been playing for almost 9 hours, and he's up to 102 games total. And he'll be playing for probably another 12 hours. That's awesome. In honor of the La Tournoi, which is a movie, again, that will be coming out later this year about chess. Check it out. And, of course, Fabian is our grandmaster here in the middle. All right? And he has a role in the movie. And that's why this whole thing got going here. Crazy fun idea. 24 hours of Blitz. You guessed it. Look at him once again having a time advantage, not just against a lower-rated player as we saw him in the last game, but here against a much higher-rated player. Against a grandmaster, or not much higher-rated, I said I guess about 100 points, but a grandmaster no less, right? So not somebody who's messing around. If you're just joining us on Twitch, you can also go to Chess.com and make an account. And like I said, this guy is a grandmaster, so if you're into chess, that's cool. And he's going to be playing for another 12 hours. There's a really good chance you're going to get a chance to play him. It's midnight, as we said, currently in Paris, and the winds, again, coming out of the northeast swell you can see behind me, down into the Niner, over to the segment there. Man, being a weather guy's a lot harder than I thought. You have to be like almost dyslexic to be able to recognize where the swells are coming in and not look like an idiot with the signals, right? Call me, jingle jangle. Give me a jingle, I'll catch you on the jangle. He's probably going to win this game based on time, but he really didn't necessarily get what we wanted him to get out of the attack. He wants no draw. That's no bueno. He's not here for a draw, okay? He's Grandmaster Fabian Libiszewski, and he's here to win every chess game he plays for the next 24 hours, Real Bizu. So you need to get real busy, Real Bizu, and not offer a draw. How about that? I'm on his side. Right now, if we're giving you a total tally of what his score is on Chess.com, at 102 total games, we're looking at a count of 67 wins, 4 draws, and 31 losses. So he's batting well above 500. He is probably going to win this game again, as we said, on time, but is he going to be able to pull off more games after this? I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to jump back in there. I'm getting a whole bunch of challenges myself right now from some of these people who want to jump in and say, hey, why don't you play some live commentary while you're doing this? But we're here for Fabian. This isn't about me. This is about the movie La Tournoi. It's my first show in years that isn't about bringing the troops home. At some point here, we're going to challenge him and get him to give me a little rematch. And we'll see if he's into that thing. Now he's taking on International Master Kasparov, also awesome. Gonna be another fun battle. Kasparov, one of the better Blitz players on our site. Sorry, just getting ready. Getting ready for some staff, some other work going on here behind the scenes. Sorry about that distraction. So. All right, we have a Maroczy Bind against a Con Sicilian. A little bit strange, I guess. A tad strange. The way the move order played out, but as far as the position itself, it makes sense, and probably a decent Maroczy Bind for Kasparov. One of the reasons I evaluated as a decent one for him is often what's the most challenging against the e6 Maroczy Bind structure is something where white was able to play for f4 and f5 earlier, like when if the bishop is on d3 and white's not looking for queenside expansion, but rather looking to take advantage of all the maneuverings black is doing on the queenside to launch a kingside attack. And I'm obviously overgeneralizing a lot of the plans that are going on in these types of structures, but it's one way you can evaluate these to say that black probably is doing okay. And if white is forced to play bishop e3 here, black has a couple options. One is to take h2, which might be a real mess. The other is to just take on e3 and then take back on d5, and black is happy because one of the biggest issues, and black decides that exactly that, as I just said, that's good enough, because one of the biggest issues black normally has in this structure is getting d5. So if black can safely get d5, he doesn't really need to even mess it up too much more. So I really like Kasparov's position here, to be honest, and I don't think that someone who's tired with 8.5 hours of Blitz is always aware of all the little development schemes, but this was not necessarily the most effective Maroczy Bind for white. Like I said, usually against these structures, white is developing with an earlier eye on playing on the king side and not this kind of approach, which allowed black to get d5. So here he is currently going down a pawn. I guess he's hoping that opening up some chances for tactics with a move like knight f5. That's definitely what he was considering last move, but he can take with check, so can't do that. But at some point here, what white wants is knight f5, and that was sort of this whole gambit that he went for. If you count the material again, Fabian is down a pawn. Sorry, I was getting mixed between his real name and his username. Fablibi, Phoebe Buffet. Did you purposely make a tongue twister between your name and your username? Fabian, and Fablibi is his username. I don't know why this is getting harder for me as we go. I don't know. I don't get it. I'll get back to you on that. So apparently Grandmaster Real Bizu is Frenchman, Grandmaster Anthony Wierig. So the Grandmaster who we've seen play Fabian a couple times already here is also another Grandmaster from France, which of course we knew that, but we didn't know exactly who it was. We're receiving word from the numerous French Grandmasters on our site. Apparently MVL himself, that's Maxime Vacher-Lagrave, if you're keeping score right now in Shamkir, which, by the way, if you are keeping score in Shamkir, he lost a bad game today to Magnus Carlsen. Not a bad game, an exciting game, but a bad loss for him. But I think MVL apparently even joined earlier and jumped into the mess that is the 24-hour Blitz marathon of Fabian right now. Use the hashtag 24-hour Blitz on Twitter. We started it. We're going to finish it. You can also do the hashtag ChessTV, but if you want to get involved in what's going on, maybe with the movie and their official Twitter account, La Tournoise, you might check out hashtag 24-hour Blitz. So what's he got here? He's got a King's Indian attack, so there's a couple things. Before you play e5, sometimes you got to be a little careful because you kind of want c3 and then d4 to really make sure that the structure holds together while you launch the attack. But I guess, yeah, you can get away with it this way. And his idea, he's going to bring the knight to g4, and then he's going to try to play h5 and h6 and really pry open the dark squares on the king side. Pried open dark squares and pieces invading them are like unwanted in-laws invited to dinner. You know, I mean, that gets real awkward. You know, you probably drink too much that night. The in-laws are not. You're not happy to. Okay, let's not go there because that's a whole nother gig. As we're talking about in-laws. But the whole point of prying open the dark squares is to open up those doors for the in-laws and then pop in there and really make that night a mess. The time in Shamkir is currently 3:30 a.m., 36 degrees Fahrenheit, and light rain. Again, you can see we have light rain that's drizzling down in Shamkir. Go ahead and Google it and be like, where is he getting his weather reports from? I don't even know, but he's doing it, right? Just name a country and I'll give you the weather report without even breaking a sweat. All right, so now what Fabian wants to do is play a little tickle and perform a little surgery on the dark squares. If he can pop into the f6 square, then he's really going to have some fun. How does he do that? Probably he wants to play d4 here, close up the counterplay. That's probably what I'd do. Although maybe d4 doesn't really stop it because black's already prepared to go to Sacktown on c3. In fact, black does go to Sacktown. After takes, white just has to be careful not to take because that would allow things like bishop b4. But probably he's just going to move the queen. I would have gone to e2 or e3, but maybe Fabian's idea is he wants to keep an eye on this move of bishop to g5 coming. I kind of like that. And there he finally plays for bishop g5, which is what I've been calling for here for a few moves. I know everyone wants a rematch. I'm going to play him soon. Look, we're going to get a rematch here in just a moment. Is this professional chess player drinking some kind of alcohol, they ask on Twitch? No, this is just how I am. And if you accept me for who I am, then maybe I'll feel better. Okay? It just hurts so bad. No, this is actually brought to you by, Great Value Spring Water. That's my drink of choice. Whenever I broadcast to Chess.com TV, I choose spring water, 78 cents a gallon. Get yourself some spring water. It's the drink of champions. That's why I don't get sponsored. You see how badly I just butchered that commercial? That's why nobody's knocking down the door like, hey, Danny, will you drink some Red Bull on your Twitch shows? Hey, Danny, could you drink some Gatorade? No, they're running away from me because I can't deliver any lines. I need to work on this. Any Hooters. I think we're going to jump in and play Fabian next. We're going to jump right in and get our rematch. Our first best of 3 was lost by 1 point. He won 2 out of 3. I felt like it could have gone the other way. I didn't play fast enough. He's real fast. I love that about him. But he didn't quite get the goods on this attack. He's had chances. I mean, this has been a good King's Indian attack gone wrong, honestly. He really had chances to turn it around in this one, but he kind of let it get away from him. Kind of blew it. And now it's really going to Smashville right here. If I was black, I would have just traded there, and if rook takes, you had knight takes c2. So yeah, this is not going well right now for Fabian. The kingside attack, not really his style. He had to take some time to figure it out. I think he's better in some of these more intuitive, let me just roll with it kind of openings. So he's getting himself in a little bit of trouble here, but okay. All right. Well, let's see if we can jump in. I love how everyone always gets afraid when I mention the in-laws, if they even knew. All right. Let's do it, Fabian. Rematch time. Population us, bro. You're up. Hello? Bueller? All right. There we go. He moves. Let's go back to e5. No, let's go with the Sicilian. Let's make that Sicilian happen. If he plays his bishop b5, I'll be really irritated. All right, good. That would have been irritating. I don't like playing against bishop g5. Let's make this a best of 3, shall we? Just for the kicks and gigs. For the kids at home, right? We're doing it for the kids at home. Yeah, we'll play b6. We're really going to get a little weirdness going here. That's what I'm all about. Some people are all about the base. Nope, not this guy. I'm all about the weirdness. All right. I'm going to put that knight on e7. And getting it about as weird as I can possibly get it. The goal that I started out with is being achieved here. Play another weird move. Play another weird move. Ooh, what's that about? I don't even know. I'm going to play bishop d7, though. He plays queen over to f4. That's only a little bit irritating. Okay. I guess we'll bring this bishop out to f5. Pretend that we're threatening to take on d5. Why not? We can also take on b1 with tempo, which is kind of important. Yeah, he sees that and says no bueno. But now I'm going to bring this knight to f6 and possibly look to take over here on d5. Everybody's getting weird. Weird and wild, the X-rated edition right here. If he plays c4, I get cackled. He plays knight b5, hitting the pawn. This is what he wants. I know it's what he wants. I can tell. I can feel it. But so the question I was thinking of, do I want to play that knight or actually this knight? If I bring this knight to c8, I like my knight and bishop over here a little bit better. I'm going to go for that. This knight to e8 was less attractive to me because I didn't really have a future for this knight on e7 anyway. At least that's what's going on in this brain. That's how I'm thinking about this position. So now let's see. If I play bishop to d7, he can take on d6. Everybody goes for that. If rook e8, and we all get it, and we get a big old trade down, that's probably fine. If he takes, I can take with the knight or the queen. Because if I take with the queen, if takes, queen takes, is he really doing that if I'm just going to bring the queen in there? It seems kind of dangerous for him. But I'm just going to play fast and not spend my time calculating extracurricular tactics. Hashtag unnecessary, right? Hashtag unnecessary. Hashtag 24-hour Blitz going on right now. This is a 24-hour Blitz marathon. Follow us on Twitter. I'm going to get rid of that pony happily. I'm going to take that guy, shake and bake, Holmes. Now I'm going to put the queen on f6. Let's trade. Let's trade. If it's good enough for you, it's good enough for me. I am more than happy to trade that guy. I don't want to go Pharrell Williams on this and start clapping, but I think I'm pretty happy about that. I'd like to bring my rook over to e7, make sure that nothing weird happens on the e-file. The bishop pair is not the biggest advantage he's ever had in this game. Not the biggest advantage he's ever had. And the fact that I'm not down significantly on time is encouraging. It is encouraging. So now what? Opposite colored bishops, who knows? I can go in here. Yeah, let's do it. Let's bring that knight into c3. That looks fun. Meow, kitty cat. What was that meow? Did I just watch Super Troopers or something? How many times can I slip meow into the broadcast, meow? How many times can I slip meow into the broadcast and everything that I'm saying? Meow, 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 meow. Let's bring this knight to b4 where it's solid. Yeah, I'm aware. Not quite sure that that does anything to me. I would have loved to have gotten something even better. He's playing faster than me now. That's what he's doing. That's his strategery. I need to pick it up. I need to pick it up. Pick up the speed. Pick up the pace. He's got nothing. There isn't really much going on here. Liking this more and more for me now. Liking this more and more for me now. Meow. F4. He's really got some troubles now. Now I can bring my knight to f6. Uh-oh, I blundered the pawn. That was an accident. Uh-oh. I blundered that pawn. It was an accident. It was a total accident. My bad. My bad. Where is he? Where are you? No, you left. No, you have a bad connection. Don't lose on time. I'm sorry. I did not want to win that way, dude. For the record, this position is totally fine for me. I'm playing knight f6, knight g8, knight e7. I'm going to pick up that pawn, and I'm still going to be able to try to perform a breakthrough. Black really is not in a position where I can lose that game. And I know time is part of the game. It's not like he hasn't flagged people before, but I just want to make it clear that, that position was okay for me. I knew I was the only one who could win, even though I didn't mean to blunder that pawn. It was unnecessary. All right, but let's try to play a Verisov here, my favorito, as all of you are aware, my favorito snack. And let's try to play a Verisov here and just see what happens. See how he handles that. Play f3. We're going to try to support e4. Something seems to be a little bit amiss about his connection. Something seems to be a little bit amiss about his connection, which is disappointing because I don't want to win that way. Maybe the fact that he's been, streaming chess for like 77 hours is trying to catch up with him. But no, seriously, I hope that it doesn't become a big factor. Let's play e4. He'll take everything, and then he'll play e5 himself, which is not ideal for me anyway. Let's avoid the trade and play bishop h4. Something weird, right? And now let's play g4. Let's go for the attack. Yes. Yes. Let's take it. Let's castle. We'll play king to b1. No worries about that. No worries about that. What I'd really like to do is get the h-file going. So the question is, should I take f6 and then play h4 and h5? Is he really just going to trade? All right, fine. Do it. I will take that bishop. I will take that bishop, good sir. And that's a little strange. I think it's a little bit of a blunder, actually. I'm going to take f6 and then play knight e4, which is a brilliant discovery on the queen. If I don't say so myself, then I'm going to take f6 with Czechorusky. If he plays king g7, I get knight e8 with Czech. That's called an intermezzo, a Zwischenzug. Then I get my queen back, and now he has to deal with his rook. So I can take e5, or I can play g5. g5 is solid, but he has knight c4. If I move, he can take and take. There's probably no real tactics for him there. If I take on e5, and he plays knight c4, I can move, and then he has to take with the knight on e5, because if he takes with the rook, I get to fork him. So I'm not exactly sure what to do here. g5. I can also give check and then knight g5. Sort of get the knight out of there in a weird relocation way. But I don't know. I'm not feeling anything too complicated here. I'm also not feeling how much time I've taken. I'm falling back into my old habits of taking too much time. So now I'm going to take. Okay, but now I'm going to keep this knight out of c4. That seems to make the most sense. And we'll go ahead and play h4. a4. No soup for you. Let's go ahead and play h5. And then bring it in. Bring it in for the real thing by swinging the rook over. We have to use our majority, as I've said before. Use it or lose it. It is true. If you don't use it, you lose it. When it comes to chess, anyway. And I'm actually mainly talking about my own personal skill set. As soon as I stopped playing regularly, it becomes harder and harder to compete at a high level. If I play there, he's going to play knight e3, and he threatens knight to c2 check. Doesn't really have anything, but he's probably going to just take a draw if I don't do that. If I play king up, Knight check, I go there. If he gives rook check, I can go there. So I guess I'll bring the king closer, take that risk. I will take the risk. Take the risk that I'm able to play this way. And now my thought was, oh, I don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time. I didn't really realize what I was doing there. Probably should not have continued to risk it to get this particular biscuit. Probably should not have done that. It's gonna be scary now because I really blew it. I should have just taken the draw. What was I thinking? I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm playing fast enough to hold on, but unfortunately, it's probably not going to matter because I don't have enough time. And he's doing exactly what he should be doing, which is just tickling me till I lose on time. Because you see, it's almost impossible to keep making all these moves like that. It's almost impossible to keep making all these moves like we are doing here with no time. All right. Well, he got me on time, so I guess he returned the favor. I won the last game on time. He wins this game on time, and just like that, we're in a brawl once again. You're going down, Fabian. You're going down, Mr. 24-hour Blitz streamer. This ain't my first rodeo. I play better when I'm providing commentary, sister. I'm going to bring it in right now for the real thing. Oh, yeah. Okay, we have the bishop pair. We'll make some dark square attempts, some attempts on the dark squares. Get cackled here, why not? Bring in the knight to potentially go attack d4. A little bit strange by him. That was a little bit strange by him. I don't think that was the best. I'm going to try to take advantage of it and show why. Okay, well, I will happily grab that bishop here. More than happy to do that. Bring the bishop to the diagonal, and now let's go grab the c file. Don't mind if I do so myself. He'll probably play knight c3, but I'm going to immediately try to just undermine it. Okay, keep his knights out of e4. He doesn't want to en passant. If he plays f5, we also have bishop there, so we're just really poking and prodding on all levels right now. I'm really liking my position, and I'm liking that I'm playing fast. Although I did just miss f5. Darn it. Makes me want to sack the exchange and then take f5. It's not a bad idea, actually. If I play b4 and he plays there and then I take, that's not great for him either, actually. Right? b4 there, takes. I don't think he can take g7, so I'm going to avoid sacking the exchange. I don't think sacking the exchange was the worst idea I've ever had, by the way. Takes and then takes f5. The bishop pair there, and I would have had a pawn for it. That would have been definitely wild, but I didn't like where that might have gone. I didn't feel like it was totally necessary. So now he's going to play there. Understood. Man, he's really creating an attack. Definitely making this one tough for me. Darn it. He's definitely making this one tough for me. There's all kinds of weird tactics here, but nothing of consequence, nothing that's good for me. So I'm going to back up, play what I don't want to play. That did not make me happy. Not at all. And right now the time is getting worse as well. Can I sack? I guess I can, or I should. If I take, he takes. I take, he takes. Yeah, we get it. It's not going to be super easy. Oh. Resigns. He got me. Fabian, I'm going to have to tip my hat to you, sir, and give you a wag of the finger for beating me in both best 2 out of 3. Man, how do I let these things go so bad, so fast? What happened here? This was just all good. It was all good. Queen to b6. Queen to b6 was bad. Although sacking the exchange was still possible, I should have played g6. See, the reason why this position is better for black is because it's not really going to be... It's not really going to be possible for white to keep the position closed. I'm going to organize b4, and at some point when the knight has to move, I mean, we have the open file, and the bishop pair will thrive in that kind of position. I wanted to play g6, but he has this f5 tactic, and he gets this. He's not really threatening f5 as long as the d-pawn is protected, so maybe I should have been more patient and played like queen d7, and then tried to organize b4. But let's go with what I did. I wonder, should I have just sacked? Let's say I take... He can take either way, but I'm going to get a pawn for the exchange. He doesn't have this right away. And if he moves his knight somewhere else, I can play bishop g5. This was one way I could have played. Maybe gotten the c-file and tried to have some compensation for the exchange. Would have been interesting. But either way, I did not play this way, and he organized another successful attack. One of the things he seems to do best with this f6 idea, which just, of course, is purely to pry open the king and go to Party Town at my expense. And he's a great Blitz player, you know, playing all these hours of Blitz and having a ball doing it. I gotta tip my hat. Disappointing to lose this best 2 out of 3 series, but I'm gonna have to say that was the case. If you're just joining us again, we are about an hour into our stream now, maybe a little more. We have been broadcasting and commentating on Grandmaster Fabian Libiszewski's games. He is playing a 24-hour Blitz marathon in honor of the movie La Tournoi, which is a French movie coming out this year about chess. It's a fictional movie, but it's got a lot of different cameos, including by Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, as well as a role by Fabian Libiszewski, who's this guy right here in the middle, holding the card. Hence the reason for the inappropriate picture of guys with their shirts off, which is what most people said when they first joined us. So he's going to be playing for a long time. I am not going to be doing commentary for the whole time. I'm human, and he's not. End of discussion. But again, if you're just joining us, let's thank you all for being with us. And go ahead and follow all of us on Twitter, La Tournoi. Follow me. Fabian probably doesn't have a Twitter. He doesn't look like the kind of guy who has a Twitter. And why do I say that? What am I, a Twitterist? Am I a Twitterist? I don't know. He just didn't strike me as a Twitter guy. But you can definitely log in and follow him on Chess.com. I want to do more. I know everyone's like, no, keep it going. But I just, we gotta call it at some point here. And he's going to be streaming. I believe there's a live stream of him just maxing out, just chilling, playing some games. So, what's going on here? He's about to win against GM Hustle Standard. Let's see who Hustle Standard is. We don't have a username here, but I'll find out who Hustle Standard is. He's in a tough King's Indian right now. Hustle Standard looks like he's about to, hustle him. But he does have some compensation. He's going to try to get 2 exchange sacks going by taking on c4 if takes e7 takes, and that would actually make Black's life difficult because you've got this attack on f2 coming. So this is not so simple. Maybe Fabian is going to win this one out. We're going to stick through this game here and maybe a few others. Grandmaster Fabian should join us on Tuesday, May 5th. Coming up is our next Title Tuesday, which is our tournaments just for title players and cash prizes. So if you're a title player watching this show, well, first of all, welcome. Second of all, you're awesome. Third of all, join our tournament on May 5th. What's going to happen here? Knight d4 is what he's considering, but it doesn't look like it works. And because that's the case, he's trying to figure out a right way to deal with the b-pawn. He'd love to play knight d4, rook takes c5, king e2, takes, take. Maybe he can get away with that. But I guess if knight d4, the queen can also move. It's not forced. Okay, so Hustle Standard is apparently Sebastian Feller, also a French grandmaster who recently joined our site, from what I understand. Lots of title players getting in on this action, trying to take advantage of Libiszewski's exhaustion after the amount of hours he's been playing. I hope that Grandmaster Vachier Lagrave just left his computer on and that he isn't actually logged in. But according to our live server, Maxime Vachier Lagrave, the French #1, MVL, as you more affectionately know him, is still logged in to Chess.com and watching the games, which would mean that it's 3:30 going on 4 a.m. right now in Shamkir. And he has a really important tournament that he's playing. So, MVL, if you're listening to this, go to bed, young man. Tisk, tisk. Get in bed. Now. Killing me. Kids these days, right? Kids these days. Queen takes e3 is almost delicious, but then queen takes f8 with Chekaruski would be a problem. That's why he didn't do it. Though those 3 pieces for the rook are actually kind of interesting. The real problem is that Black's king is potentially in some sort of back rank net after that. But that was really interesting. I love the time screen we're getting into. Wait, rook to c8, just trade town. Yeah, king h7. If he takes e2, you're going to give a little check, and then the b1 rook hangs. This looks really tough. I think Fablibi is going to come through with a win here. Knight to c3 makes sense. Okay, he decides to bring it to f4, which also works. Bring the knight to d3, and now he can work on... Okay, move this bishop, maybe play d5. You also have threats of bishop h6 at some point and maybe try to go take e3. Oh, that's what I would have done last move. Play bishop h6. Ah, he had bishop h6 while the knight was pinned. But both sides are under an incredible amount of time pressure, and that's going to be the game if Libiszewski sees it. Oh, and just like that, he won. Look at him. He's on a mission right now. This makes me feel better about losing to him because he's also beating grandmasters in Blitz. Does he get better as the night goes on? Is he a chess werewolf or something? Is it a full moon right now in France? Can we get Stat Guy on that? Yo, is it a full moon in France? Check it out or not. Because he is like, the beast is coming out right now. The moon is rising and the beast is coming out. And Flabibi is only getting better as time goes on. Now I want to stay here this whole time. I just want to be here with all of you. Wow. Amazing game right there. All right, everyone. Well, again, if you're just joining us, this has been a lot of fun. The next show you can see on Chess.com TV is our coverage of the next round of the Gashima Memorial. You can go to Chess.com and join. It's free. Takes 30 seconds. And if you're on Twitch right now, you can go ahead and do that and try to log into the live server and challenge Mr. Libiszewski here. It's been a pleasure. I've had a lot of fun. I'm disappointed that I lost. I thought I would, join around midnight and take advantage of this guy, but who knew that he was actually a chess werewolf and only got better as the night went on. That's bad planning by me. I should have looked into this guy's history a little more. Isn't there a movie, American Werewolf in Paris? Well, this guy's not American. I can say that because he's... moon in Paris right now is currently a waxing crescent. A crescent moon. Oh, I don't even know what a waxing crescent is. It sounds like the first line to some sort of cheesy B-rated, you know what I'm talking about, flick. So I hope that that's... I don't even know if that's a real term. But the next full moon will be May 4th at 5:45 a.m. All those of you watching from Paris, you're welcome. You didn't even know that. I just told you that the next full moon in Paris will be on May 4th at 5:45 a.m., so make sure you check that out. This has been fun. I like doing this whole weather report thing. I'm into it. All right, Flabibi. Hats off, man. You're the man. We're going to call this thing a show. I got to get back to what they pay me for, which currently is a lot of ChessKid.com stuff. Writing curriculum, doing weird stuff that really actually takes mental focus. I love you all. Boom. See you around.